I'm Dr. Leslie Tay and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how I make my Wok Hei prawn fried rice. And so when we talk about prawn fried rice, I'm sure you have in your mind Dad prawn fried rice, right, from Dad restaurant. Your rice needs to be nice and plump and chewy and moist. And so today I'm going to show you how you can do that without having to use overnight rice. We are using rice that is grown in the US. This is called Calrose rice. The Cal stands for California. You can use it for sushi, but today we are using it for this very special fried rice. Here is 3 different brands that are already in the market. It was voted best rice in 2013 and 2015. The quality is very good and the price is very much affordable. This is Musenmai rice, which means that they go through another process where they take off that sticky bran coating outside of the rice, so you don't have to rinse it. You can just add water and it's ready to go. Alright, so I got 2 cups of rice. I'm just going to add enough water just below the 2 mark. We don't want the rice to be too wet. Put the rice in the rice cooker and we'll just start it. Now let's talk about the prawn. We are making prawn fried rice. We're not making egg fried rice with prawn. Why do I say that? Because when you use a very big piece of prawn, right? When the prawns are too big, when you scoop into the rice, you can't really get the whole prawn into one mouthful. And what you're eating is really egg fried rice, and then you're eating the prawn. What you want to do is to have your prawn small enough so that when you scoop it up, you get your prawn and your rice in the same spoon. That is prawn fried rice. Today, I'm going to show you this very special prawn. You can only get them in the wet market. They call them Wok Hei or jianxia because of this very sharp little spine that they have on top of their head. But these are really tasty and they're quite cheap. They're about $7 a kilo. You can buy 1 kilogram. The only thing is that it is a little bit of a pain to peel them because you've got to peel a lot. Okay, so what you need is to just remove the head and you peel off the shell. And if you can catch that little gut in front, you just need to pull it off like that. Comes off nicely. If you want more information about prawns, please visit ieatissureIpost.sg and look up my prawn files. You can read all about prawns. The other advantage of these prawns is that you can actually deep fry them whole and they're really nice and crunchy and yummy. So later on, what we're going to do is we're going to have a few of them. We're going to leave some aside and then we're going to deep fry them until they're nice and crispy and use that to put on top of the fried rice. It gives it another dimension of flavor and texture. After you peel them, wash them, put a little bit of salt and bicarbonate and just marinate it for about half an hour, wash away everything and it's ready to go. While we're waiting for the rice to cook, I'm just going to deep fry all these prawns. You don't really need to add it to hot oil. You can just add a few into cold oil so that they don't splatter too much. And just cover it because once the oil heats up, it will start to splatter. And once they turn golden brown, that's it. Please make sure that you have a cover ready, or else it will be a lot of splittering and spluttering. You might burn yourself. So once all the spluttering has sort of died down and the bubbles have sort of died down, you know that your prawns are almost ready. Prawns are done. I'm just going to remove them. While they are still hot, we're going to sprinkle some salt. Give them a bit of a toss and then set them aside. But I'm sure you won't be able to resist the temptation to eat 1 or 2. Once the rice is just cooked, you want to remove it. Don't let it steam too long because we want that rice texture to be nice and chewy. While the rice is still very hot, we're going to add in some butter and we're going to just separate the grains of the rice. And the butter also gives the rice that nice flavor. Okay, you want to be very gentle. You just want to cut through the rice. Don't smash the grain. The outside starch of the rice goes through this process of retrogradation, which means that it will start to stiffen up. When you allow it to cool down a little bit, it's more firm, so it makes it nicer to fry. If you want to still achieve a little bit of Wok Hei at home, these are the things that you need to do. Once the rice is cooled down to about just warm, we can add in the egg. We're just going to add in the egg yolk. And we're going to mix the rice with the egg yolk first. Okay, you don't want the rice to be too hot because if it's too hot, it will cook the yolk straight away. What we want to do is just to mix it up nicely so that the yolk coats every single grain of rice. So this is the tricks that we do when we are cooking at home, because when you're at a restaurant, they don't do this. They do everything in a wok, and the chef is very masterful at frying the rice, so he can mix and everything get coated very nicely and yet achieve wok hei at the same time. In fact, this is a fried rice that we are doing outside of a wok. I'm going to add in my bit of chicken stock now and a bit of salt. So now, as you can see, all that rice is evenly coated with the egg and butter, and it's even got the seasoning all in already. So we are ready to fry. Okay, so we got the extra egg white. We're gonna just crack 2 more eggs to add into the egg whites. Remember, we use the egg yolks for the rice, right? So we don't want to waste the egg whites. So I'm just adding a little bit more yolk, a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of salt, and that's all we need really. The key to getting wok hei at home is to use a smaller pan, because at home you only have a smaller fire. In the restaurants, they have big fire, they can use a big wok. But when you don't have a big fire, then you use a smaller pan in order to get a more intense heat. When the pan is hot, you add a little bit of oil, and this is a carbon steel pan. When it's hot, you coat it with oil and it'll become non-stick. And then you add a little bit more cold oil. So you add in your eggs first. Please scramble it a little bit. And add on some rice. You really don't want the eggs to get too brown. Quickly toss it. We cut up the eggs at the same time. Now we set the rice aside. Okay, this is not ready yet. This is only the first stage. I would just want to show you something that you can do at home for those of you who really want to achieve that smell, you know, that wok hei smell. So you need to cook it in different stages. We already cooked the egg and the rice together, and it hasn't get that wok hei yet. So the next stage is to cook the prawn. Okay, you see the fire come out. Prawn doesn't take very long. What we're going to do next is just have enough for 1 bowl of rice. So we are at the final stage of how to make our wok hei prawn fried rice. Everything is ready. The prawns have been cooked, the rice is cooked, the eggs are cooked. Basically, it's just to get that wok hei flavor into the rice. Get your pan as hot as you can. You have to wait maybe a few minutes for the pan to really heat up. Okay, so while it's very nice and smoky, what you want to do is to quickly toss the rice in that smoke. So the key to wok hei is intense heat, and then you can smell it already. And it only takes maybe about less than a minute. Okay, also you don't want to overdo the rice. You just want to quickly toss it in the smoke. The last step, okay, you want to put some water. The water will remove all the extra smoky flavor from the pan and then add it to the rice. So this is something that, you know, you see all the char kway teow hawkers do. At the end of the char kway teow, they always put the water, and that's why. So now it's time we get to try the wok hei prawn egg fried rice. The main thing is, because the rice itself has no prawn flavor, you have to eat it together with the prawn. See, so I got a bit of prawn there, I got a bit of rice there, and that smell, it's amazing. Oh wow, the rice is an amazing texture. It's chewy, toothy, and all the individual grains, right, are so distinct. It's just so nice, and it's infused with that wok flavor. Yeah, you can see that. They're plump and they're really moist. For a bit more textural contrast, I'm going to have the crunchy, yummy prawns. Almost like eating keropok, but better. Power! Next time you're thinking of doing fried rice, why don't you give my recipe a try, and don't forget, pick up some US Calrose rice from the supermarket. Until next time, happy cooking!